I travel a lot. I do comedy. I got nothing to complain about, really. You know, it's a good job. You know, I will admit that occasionally I have to get up early. Again, not complaining. But when I have to get up early, it's to do a morning radio show. I have to enter a morning zoo, a morning radio situation. That's kind of tricky. I'm sure you're familiar with morning radio. Generally, the morning radio format, there's a main guy, there's a laughing guy, and there's a baffled and shocked woman. That's the classic setup. If I was to do just a sound impression of morning radio, it would be brr, 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 brr. Oh, fellas. So, here's the story. I was in Cleveland. Let's make it Cleveland. Doesn't matter, all right? I was in Cleveland. I had to get up at 5:30 for morning radio. Now, I don't care what you do or what your life is or who you are. 5:30 is bullshit. It's bullshit if you wake up for it. It's bullshit if you've been up all night for it. What is 5:30? Is it night? Is it day? It's bullshit. Of course, if you've been up all night for it, you probably have other problems. All right? If you see 5:30 happen, there's a 90% chance you're going to be saying to some other guy in the room, should we call the guy and get more? 90% chance. And then that guy will say, no, man, it's morning. And you'll say, I need a breakfast bump. Don't be an asshole. And he'll say, you have a fucking drug problem. And I'll say, fuck you, I have a drug problem? I just listened to you talk about your guitar for 4 hours. You're going to tell me I have a drug problem, asshole? In my apartment? Get out. I'm calling the guy. Sorry, flashback. I apologize. All right, so here's what happens. I get up at 5:30 to do morning radio. I wake up, I'm groggy, I'm barely awake, all right? I'm half awake. Let's go with that, half. And I realize I've forgotten my toothbrush, all right? So some part of me says, what's wrong with you, you idiot? You forgot your toothbrush? You're a professional traveler. What are you, a moron? How could you forget your toothbrush? And the other part of me is like, hey, why don't we stop yelling? I just woke up. And the other part of me is like, you shut up, you idiot. This is on you. You forgot it. And the other part of me is like, really, you got to relax. And then a voice I don't recognize goes, oh, fellas. And I'm like, oh, my God, am I there already? Am I there already? And then I realize, all right, if I call the front desk, if you call the front desk of a hotel, they will, and ask them for a toothbrush, they'll give you like half a toothbrush. It's not a real toothbrush, it's like a facsimile of a toothbrush, but it'll get you through until you get to a drugstore to get a real toothbrush. But part of you will think like, why do they even give these out? They're not even real toothbrushes. Another issue, another joke. Now, so I call up the front desk at 5:30. You know what, let's make it a few minutes later, because I know some of you might be out there thinking, well, you woke up at 5:30, you had the conversation with yourself, that must have taken a few minutes. So, if we're going to believe the credibility of this story, you might want to up the minute count on the phone call, or else it's sort of bullshit, am I right? All right, so 5:36, I call the front desk of the hotel. No one answers the phone. That's a lonely feeling. Why is there no one answering the phone at the front desk of a hotel? There's always supposed to be someone at the front desk of a hotel. What's happening down there? That's weird. What was weirder was my first thought when no one answered the phone at the front desk was, oh, fuck, zombies. All right, this was a real fear. I was not trying to make myself laugh. It was a genuine fear in that moment. I don't know what that says about us as a people, as a culture, that I had a genuine fear of zombies. But I know it was genuine because there were thoughts that followed, and those thoughts were, how many more are left like me? Should I be stockpiling food? Do I need a weapon of some kind? And then I remember distinctly taking a deep breath and thinking, I'm not prepared to lead. I sure hope there's an alpha male out there with a rudimentary sense of tribalism that can lead me and a multi-ethnic crew of frightened people through this post-apocalyptic zombie landscape, or I'm food. I mean, I'm food. I'm food in like 5 minutes if that guy's not out there. And then right in the middle of all this thinking, a woman picks up the phone and says, hello, can I help you? I'm sorry to keep you waiting. And I said, what's going on down there? And she said, sir. And I said, why didn't you answer the phone? Are we in trouble? And she said, no, sir, can I help you with something? I had other calls. I said, I need a fucking toothbrush. And she said, there's no reason for that language, sir. I'll send one up. And I said, no zombies! Now, I realized in that moment that I had said that out loud to a human being. So I had to regroup somehow. And I went with, sorry, I gotta do radio. Like that should explain it to a person that doesn't know my life. So I hung up the phone knowing full well that that woman must have turned to whoever was nearest to her and said, there's a man on crystal meth upstairs. But that doesn't really add up because he asked for a toothbrush. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Very kind. Go ahead and just judge me for a minute. Thank you. That was long enough. Because I'm judging you. I'm a judger. I fucking love to judge. I'm great at it. I have bad judgment, but I'm a great judger. I love to judge. I hate when people say, hey, don't judge, because I think, fuck you, don't take away my hobbies. It's weird, because when I think about, like, I wasn't clear what I was going to do on this set, and I had this old set list. I was just going through my notebooks. And in the middle of a page in my notebook, like, I just write ideas down, but like, after a while, you forget where they're from. And just sitting in the middle of a page of paper, by itself, it just said autoerotic asphyxiation. That's all it said. So I got to be in this moment where I'm like, when did I do that? Did I do that? Or did I just think of that? So I'm trying to, because I would remember if I tried that, right? That's a scary thing. Yeah? And then I remember what it was, because autoerotic asphyxiation is really a hotel room thing. Like, no one's doing that at home. Yeah, I picture businessmen leaving on trips going, honey, where's that good belt I always bring? You know, the one with the weird notch? I don't know how it happened. It's weird. Maybe the luggage. But then I kept thinking about it, and I thought, you know, I think autoerotic asphyxiation was sort of invented in a hotel room. Because I travel a lot, and I know some of you travel, and if you ever travel alone, even if it's for one night, at some point in that hotel room, you're going to be sitting by yourself, and you're going to say, fuck, I want to kill myself. And usually when I say that, about 5 minutes later, I think, nah, I'll just jerk off. So how long before you're like, hey, maybe we can bring these two things together? Let's take this masturbation thing to the next level. Let's do that. But look, I'm going to share like sort of. It's not a horrible. It's not a sad story. But I almost died recently. In my head, I almost died. I should qualify that. Don't Google mouth cancer images. Do you need more than that? There's more of a story to it. Should I go ahead and follow that up, or do you want me to just leave it there? I just checked into a hotel in Cleveland, and I was excited. I was looking forward to my lobby waffle in the morning. There's some fellow travelers. You know the feeling when you check into a hotel, you see that free breakfast buffet area, and you eyeball that waffle maker. Some part of you thinks, hey, how bad could tomorrow be? At 9:58 tomorrow morning, 2 minutes before that buffet closes, I'm going to be making my own waffle. It's going to feel like my fucking birthday for 10 minutes. So I'm doing that. I'm setting up. I'm getting ready. I'm doing some work, getting ready to do the big work, tweeting, updating my status, you know, putting my slightly damaged, inconsistent brand out into the world for people to appreciate. How do we justify that as work? How is that? How are we all on Facebook and Twitter? Are we grown-ups? Are we grown-ups? Are we culturally 7? Are we 7? Have you ever had that moment where you're updating your status on Facebook and you realize, holy shit, every status update should just say, would someone please acknowledge me? And then you wait it out. Like, yeah. So I'm doing that. I'm doing my work, updating my status, tweeting, and I'm eating licorice candy compulsively. That was my compulsive behavior du jour. I have a few of them. It's a short menu. I can eat compulsively, I can masturbate compulsively, or I can nap compulsively. I know that sounds like a contradiction, a compulsive nap, but it's such a thing as that. And I also call them panic naps. A panic nap usually starts with something like this. Fuck, God damn it, I'm tired. That's the beginning of a panic nap. So I'm eating these licorice candies, and I feel something in my mouth that hurts. I'm like, what the hell is that? Did I bite my lip? What the fuck is that? Do I have a canker sore? What is that? So I go into the bathroom of my hotel room. I pull my lip down. There's these two reddish-brown sores in my mouth. So, of course, I say, holy shit, is that mouth cancer? And in 8 minutes, I went through all 5 stages of grief. 8 minutes. All right, first there's denial. That's not mouth cancer. Then anger. Fuck, I have mouth cancer. And then bargaining. God, I know I haven't been that good or really believed in you, but if you're there, could you please not make this mouth cancer? And then depression. I have mouth cancer. And then finally, acceptance. I don't need my mouth. So I go back into my room and I take a panic nap that starts with, fuck, mouth cancer, God damn it, I gotta, and then I sleep, I'm tired. Slept for 15, sweaty minutes, and I wake up and I'm like, I've got to make sure this is mouth cancer. I've got to do what any smart person would do. I have to Google mouth cancer images. Because you know how much doctors like it when you Google first, and you can just walk in and go, no test necessary, I'm fucking dying. Google? Yeah, of course. Shut the fuck up. So I Google mouth cancer, and I look at every mouth cancer image available. It takes me 15 minutes. If there's a big list of the shittiest things to do in the world for 15 minutes, Googling mouth cancer should be maybe number 2, right under sticking pins in your balls for no reason. But I don't want to alienate the S&M crowd. I know you're emotionally insulated, need to hurt yourself to feel. So if you want to switch those two up, feel free. So I look at every mouth cancer. Now here's the problem. I could not find my mouth cancer. All right, now I had a couple ways I could have gone in that moment. I chose this way. I have the rarest mouth cancer. They don't even have photographs of my mouth cancer. I should take a picture of my mouth cancer and send it to the Google image people so they can update their resources. I want to help people. Maybe they could name it after me, like melanoma. Maybe that's what this is. And then some part of me says, dude, relax, you don't have mouth cancer. Take a breath. And I say, fuck you, we're dying. And he says, no, seriously, just relax. There's nothing you can do about it now. Why don't you just take a breath? I'm like, shut up, man. We're fucking dying. And then he says, one of us has to stop talking. It's weird, you're alone. All right. So I take a breath, and I start to think it through, and I do a little detective work. And I'm like, oh, shit, the licorice candies. I had a canker sore in my mouth, and the licorice candies just sort of dyed them brown, you know? So I figured it out. And honestly, in that moment that I figured that out, I felt like I had beaten cancer. Yeah. The next morning, I walked out of that hotel room with spring in my step and a new outlook on life. And I went down and made myself a lobby waffle. And that was the best fucking waffle I'd ever tasted. You know why? Because I had survived made-up mouth cancer. Thank you very much. Good night.